Hey everybody, welcome in. It's the Week 13 recap for the Steak Dinner Bowl. It was the second to the last week of the regular season, and things are definitely heating up. We got a few highlights of the week, then we got the Week 13 matchups, and of course, we'll take a look ahead at the last week before the playoffs, Week 14. And so, let's get right into the news. This week started out with the Patriots getting kicked right in the Pulisic, if you know what I mean. The Pats look at a 20-year low, looking absolutely terrible on Thursday Night Football. And Allen and Diggs for the Bills look playing at a crazy high level right now. It seems like the Matty P experiment has failed, and Bill needs to go back to the drawing board. And if that wasn't horrible enough to start the week ends with Brady making I would call it amazing, but really it's just what Brady does. When he takes his team down the field to score twice, both times scoring touchdowns to win the game against the Saints. I'm calling this week the double Pulaski week. And on a side note, I played way too much Call of Duty and didn't really watch that much football. But on to the matchups. The first matchup of the week, we had myself versus Jen. I took it down, winning by about 10 points. I'm 11-2 now in first. Jen is 9-4 and slipping down into third place. The original projection had it as a blowout and ended up being a lot closer and a little bit of a Monday night sweat, as Jen needed about 23 points from White going on Monday Night Football. He did end up having a touchdown, but just not enough points to overcome. I had some awful luck with my wide receivers. Cooper only scoring 6, Waddle only scoring 1.4. I did have Watson, luckily, who I picked up either last week or the week before. Pollard had a good game. Let's see, Jen had Carr with about 30 points. Good game for him. Metcalf, huge game. 127 receiving yards and a touchdown. Barkley having a decent game, but just not enough points for her to win and slipping down into third. So we'll see if she can come back next week and take that second spot back to get the bye week. The next matchup we had was Mark, who's now at 5-8 in sixth, and Mike, who's also 5-8 in seventh. Mark jumps up from spot 8 to spot 6, and Mike moved from 6th to 7th. So he moved from inside the playoffs to outside the playoffs. Mark had a pretty strong week here. It was projected pretty close. Mike kind of underperformed from his projection, and Mark overperformed in his projection. And Mark with Jones and Adams scoring huge points. Adams, 39 points for wide receivers, a lot of points. This is his top scoring guy. Diggs having a good week. Allen finally having a decent week. And Mike having Nick Chubb only getting 8 points, and Eckler only getting about 10 or 11. It's not great, but good matchup and strong. Mark gets into the playoff. Mark's in the playoff picture now. Shitty Mike, where shitty players deserve outside the playoffs. So we'll see how it looks for them next week. All right, the next matchup we had was Corey versus Anne Marie. Corey's at 3-10 now in 10th place, and Anne Marie is 6-7, and she stays in 5th place, getting back into the win column after a loss last week. Both of them under projected their points. Corey's looking really bad, and I'm pretty sure he's eliminated by being 3-9. He had Tua getting 30, was his high scorer. Sutton had 0. Not really sure what happened with him. Anne Marie had Brady scoring 40 points with that crazy comeback of a win. St. Brown getting close to 30 with a couple of touchdowns and 114 receiving yards. And nobody else. Jeff Wilson with 0.1. Surprised he overcame that. That's about it. And the next matchup we have is Zach at 4-9 in 9th, and Carlos at 5-8 in 8th. Zach took it down. Carlos only scoring 110. Zach scoring about his projected score. He scored a 155. Zach had a big day with Burrow scoring 47 points, and Lockett scoring 28 points. It was a big day. And Carlos's team, who was pretty disappointing. I mean, going heavy with Lazard and Jones and Green Bay, who did win, but still just looks terrible this year. And that's about it. Even though Zach got this win, I do believe he isn't going to make the playoffs. I think Carlos has an outside chance of getting in, but we'll look at that when we come to it. And the final matchup that we had was Ryan, who's 8-5 now in 4th place, and Omar, who's 9-4, jumping up into 2nd place, taking Jen's spot in 2nd place to now have the bye. Omar won by a lot, almost 40 points or so. I'll take a look at Ryan's team first here. Ryan had Josh Allen getting 31, A.J. Brown getting close to 30, Jacobs with 25, Pacheco finally scoring some points, who everyone keeps saying how he's the guy in Kansas City, but all season long has not been the guy, apparently until this week, unless I'm completely wrong by my memory. And Ryan also leaving his bench spot or defense spot blank for whatever reason, but it wouldn't have helped because New England only had 8 points anyway. And Omar having 60, almost 61 points with Jalen Hurts. Hill having over 30. McLaurin with 20. McCaffrey with close to 25. It's a big week for them and pushing Omar's team into the 2nd spot. We'll see if he can hold on to it for one more week and get that bye. And with that, let's check the current standings. So the rundown for the standings, we got myself in 1st at 11-2. We got Omar moving up to 9-4. And Jen moving down to the 3rd spot at 9-4. We got Ryan staying in 4th at 8-5. We got Anne Marie staying in 5th at 6-7. We got Mark moving up to 6th at 5-8. We got Mike moving down to 7th at 5-8. In the 8th spot, we got Carlos at 5-8, and we got Zach at 4-9 at 9th place, and Corey in 10th with 3-10. So let's take a quick look at what's going on next week for the matchups. We got myself versus Carlos. I've got the 1st spot locked up. Carlos, he needs a win, but also needs a lot of points in order to make the playoffs. We got Mark versus Omar. Mark looks like he could stay in if he gets a win. Omar is battling for that bye week against Jen, so he still needs a win too. We got Corey versus Shitty Mike. Corey's, I think, eliminated. Yeah, he's definitely eliminated. We got Shitty Mike, who definitely needs a win in order to get in. Probably a win and a bunch of points. We got Zach and Anne Marie. We got Zach, who's eliminated. Anne Marie is in 5th place currently. She could take a loss and still get in on points, probably, because she's got about 100 more points than Carlos. So, but I mean, a win for her would be nice. And the last matchup we got is Jen versus Ryan, and both of them already in, but Jen is definitely looking for the win and a loss from Omar to get that bye week. So it should be a great week. And this week we're gonna end it with something a little different. We got our sideline reporter here, Akira, who's gonna answer some questions on her Week 14 predictions. Her first question is, who do you think will get the last bye week spot, Omar or Jen?
I think Omar.
Omar, he just got in that spot. So, all right. Second question is, who do you think will get the last 2 playoff spots? Okay, you got to pick 2. We got Anne Marie, Mark, Mike, and Carlos. So pick 2.
Anne-Marie and Carlos.
Ooh, Carlos, that's a spicy pick. I don't know. We'll see how that works out. And number 3, we got, who do you think will end up with the most points for the season? Currently, we have myself at 2168. Ryan is at 2155. Omar is at 2150. So that contest is really close right now. Who do you think's going to win, Akira?
Ryan.
Ooh, man. Against their old old man. That's wrong. And the last one we got is the highest weekly score was week 8. Omar had 237.96. Do you think that in week 14, the last week for this, do you think it will be beat? Yes or no?
Oh.
No. No. Oh, man. I'm hoping to beat that this week, which would be nice, but good luck, everybody, for week 14, last week of the regular season. Let's go.